And I now have the honor to be able to say just a few very brief words to you before we have the prayers and words of blessing from the different traditions. So I first of all start with an apology that I am the third leg of the stool of this organization, of this event. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the World Council of Religious Leaders, and the American Jewish Committee. And I'm in charge of the interfaith work of the American Jewish Committee, and I therefore should have been at dinner last night to have welcomed you. So I am very, very contrite. I hope you will forgive me. I had a wedding that I had to be at, and therefore I have a good excuse, but still there's never an adequate excuse not to receive such illustrious visitors, guests, participants, friends from the world. So please, again, I ask your forgiveness. I want to, at the outset, express my appreciation to AJC's partners, above all to the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs and to Akiva Tor and Simona Halperin, both whose work has been indefatigable. But the truth of the matter is that this conference is the vision of Akiva Tor. And therefore we are the beneficiaries of his vision, and I thank him greatly for that, and for the honor for us, AJC, to be a partner, and the joy to be able to partner again with Bauer Jane G, because aside from our friendship, I am also honored to be a member of the executive of the World Council of Religious Leaders. These partnerships we have had before with the Foreign Ministry, and I welcome Ambassador Mark Sofer here from Foreign Ministry. With Foreign Ministry, we have had a number of partnerships. Most recently, AJC and the Foreign Ministry brought together major Muslim leaders from sub-Saharan Africa. But in fact, it was this tripartite relationship between the World Council of Religious Leaders and the Foreign Ministry and AJC that started the first Hindu-Jewish summits, which there have been 3. The first one took place in Delhi, where Ambassador Sofer's predecessor, Ambassador Danieli, played a very critical and important role. And so it's wonderful again to be able to enjoy this partnership and to work again with so many of you. However, let me just add, before I conclude my greetings, to say that AJC being part of this is not simply a material partner. Yes, we are a material partner, but the significance of AJC being here together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the World Council of Religious Leaders has a special significance in terms of our interreligious encounter. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs represents the State of Israel. We want you to be able to know the Jewish reality that is centrally understood in relation to the State of Israel today. The World Council of Religious Leaders essentially represents all of you who have gathered here for this particular encounter. But the AJC, the American Jewish Committee, even though I'm based in Jerusalem and we have our presence here, and from here I go out around the world, AJC is a diaspora organization. It is the American Jewish Committee. It may have pretensions beyond its boundaries of America, but it is an American organization. That means it represents essentially diaspora Jewry. Now, this is an important point for our understanding, interreligious understanding. The Jewish people is an unusual phenomenon in that it is a people and a religion at the same time. It is, to be more precise, a religion that is born out of a people and a people that is born out of a religion. And today there are many forms of Jewish people's understanding of what it means to be a modern Jew, and we have many kinds of modern Jews. But it is impossible for anyone to identify herself or himself as a Jew without reference to the Jewish religion. Even atheist Jews need to find new ways of interpreting precisely the religious symbols or occasions or events within their history in order to give them contemporary meaning. Our diaspora existence is longer than the existence of a sovereign Jewish state. And therefore, the Jewish diaspora experience is a Jewish reality in and of itself. Yes, no serious Jewish community today is dislocated from the state of Israel. The state of Israel and the Jewish reality here is central to our identity. But our identity is not just the state of Israel. And therefore, we have here a gathering of wonderful representatives of Judaism and within Israel, but also representing different streams and forms of Judaism, much of which has been formulated or certainly influenced by the diaspora experience. So I want to conclude, so that was just a way of my expressing the fact that AJC's presence in this three-stooled hospitality facilitation is not simply a technical matter. It also represents something of substance that each of us, the three of us, bring to the table. So let me conclude, first of all, by thanking all of the distinguished religious leaders who are here. If this is a stellar, remarkable gathering. You honor us greatly by your presence. I'm sure that's already been said to you. It's my opportunity to say it as well. But I also want to thank the Jewish participants who are here. We have a very special, hand-picked selection of Jewish scholars, of significant thinkers, rabbis, women and men from a spectrum. And you know it is often easier to come from a long way away for a conference than it is to come to one that is nearby. So I'm particularly grateful to those of my colleagues who have responded. In fact, all of those who are here, some will be coming later, some in, some out. But the response was overwhelmingly excited and eager and desirous of this opportunity for us to share and to learn from one another. And so I hope that these days will be one of great joy, pleasure, but enrichment and stimulation, and will lead to wonderful future collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Rabbi Rosen, and it's lovely to see you as always. I know you haven't come to hear me, and I have very little to say over and above what really for many people in the Jewish world, and certainly in Israel, Rabbi Rosen is really the leader of all that is connected to Judaism and other faiths around the world. We look at him as our teacher, our leader, in bringing Judaism closer to other faiths, other religions, other philosophies. I've known him for many years, and I have the greatest of respect for him. And perhaps I could start by using your very words, Rabbi Rosen. We are really and truly honored greatly by your presence here. Some of you I've had the very, very good fortune to know prior. A man who I've always had the greatest respect for is Bawa Jain, who I've known him for many years, and somebody who I think is absolutely wonderful. And because of my time in India, I know very well indeed. Thank you. It's wonderful to see you both. Great Swami Paramananda and Swami Giri Ji. Lovely to see you both here in Israel. I know this isn't your first time here, but it's always wonderful to have you back. And of course, ladies and gentlemen and friends all. In a way, I'm a little bit overawed by this gathering. In many ways, I think it's the first of its kind, if I'm not mistaken, with such a leadership of faiths and religions from Asia, from East Asia especially, to Israel, and to interact with the Jewish faith leaders, Jewish rabbis, teachers, philosophers, etc. I think to a large extent the title of the conference, Ancient Traditions and Contemporary Politics, is something which is very actual and very necessary. And as somebody in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I can say more than anything else, more than is very needed. I think as we move forward into an era of uncertainty and an era of difficulty in which we find ourselves in today. To a large extent, I am in charge of all the relationships between Israel and the Asian universe. I don't think there's other word to use it. It's 65% almost of the world's population today is resident in your part of the world. Actually, our part of the world, we're a nation state as well. We sometimes tend to forget that. And we deal really day in and day out with many aspects of the relations between Israel and Asia. I'm talking of the economic relations, I'm talking about the academic relations, I'm talking about the political relations, more or less the whole gamut of relations. And yet, I feel that we have been lacking quite seriously in one of the main pillars of people-to-people interaction, of people-to-people understanding, and that is the spiritual. The depth of understanding between the religions and the faiths of the peoples of Asia and the religion and the faith of the people of Israel, which is a crucial pillar in understanding each other. We can talk about economics from today until goodness knows when, but we need to understand in greater depth where we are both coming from as human beings, our value systems, our feelings of man to man, or woman to woman, of course, and where we want to be as human beings. And if we don't do that together in a conference such as this, we are missing a major aspect of where we should be as Jews. I think we are missing a major aspect of where we should be as Israelis, and certainly in my regard in the interaction between Israel and Asia. In many respects, and I apologize for this, I am singularly unequipped to discuss any issue related to theological issues. Unfortunately, I come from an Orthodox or traditional Jewish household, but I feel talking about Judaism with distinguished rabbis and religious leaders in the room is completely untoward from my point of view, certainly on other religions. But I can understand that both of us, both Israel or the Jewish people, certainly Israel and Asia, we have age-old civilizations and faith systems, and these civilizations and faith systems are deeply rooted in our respective societies. And we do share, and this is somebody like me who knows Asia rather well, we do share similar values. My phone is bothering me. Similar values of humanism, of the love of our fellow man, our concern for the welfare of the environment, our yearning for peace. All of these are part and parcel of where we are coming from, and from my knowledge of Asia, from where you are coming from, each and every one of you, from each and every one of your countries, be it from Myanmar or from India or from Japan or from China or wherever. We all coming from the same value system. Of course, there are differences between us. If there weren't differences between us, especially theological differences, we wouldn't have a gamut of religions or faiths. I don't know if we'll ever be able to overcome the theological issues, if we want to overcome the theological issues. But I think deeper down there are serious philosophical issues which we can discuss and we should discuss. And I think it's just because of the differences, it is incumbent upon us to learn more about each other, to understand one another better, and to turn these ties into our relative advantage. I really would like to say that, and to reiterate what Rabbi Rosen said just a few moments ago, in many respects, this initiative is a marriage, or is a continuation, I would say, of a wonderful marriage between Israel, the Israeli Foreign Ministry, the State of Israel, and the American Jewish Committee. I have known this organization, the American Jewish Committee, for myriads of years, even when I was little, and I've interacted with it non-stop since then. I can tell you that I don't want to get myself into hot water here, but of all the Jewish organizations in the world, it is one of, if not the foremost. I think that's the most diplomatic way I can say it without being in trouble with all the others. But nonetheless, I think those who can read between the lines will understand where I'm coming from, and I'll deny having saying anything else. Rabbi Rosen, as I said earlier, is in many respects our guru. Maybe that's not the right word, or our religious teacher, our faith, Lotta Guru, who is our high priest or whatever in this field of interfaith relations, and I'm glad that he is really partnering with us. Simona, who works with me, well, she's indefatigable. She's always running around. I can't keep up with her. She's one of the best we have in the foreign ministry, and one of the best I think that Israel has to offer. She took this as a project on herself, and thank you, Simona, for all you're doing, and of course, Akiva. Akiva, this was many respects your initiative. I remember when you came to me with this in the first place some time ago, some months ago. I said that, we would be happy to partner with you in this, but thank goodness we had Simona to do that, otherwise I wouldn't know how we would partner with you. This is from Myanmar. I really would like to say that I wish you all and us a few days of deliberations which will be productive, which we will learn from, I'm sure, and which hopefully will come out of this something which will enable us to be closer together, to understand each other better, and to bring more beauty and light and happiness to the world as a whole. Thank you very much indeed.